Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My stomach's in knots and I feel super nervous. I've never felt this nervous, I don't think, to film. I haven't filmed in about a month, which is the longest time that I've gone without posting or filming to my recollection. Today's gonna be a chatty get ready with me, and I wanna tell you about what's been going on, what's happened, why I've been absent. Also, thank you for all your love on Instagram. I am aware that a lot of you probably don't have Instagram, don't follow me there, or don't check the community tab on YouTube, and I basically have just vanished, and I want to explain why. Maybe you're going through something similar, maybe you are going to be going through something similar, to let you know that you're not alone. Really just kind of discuss what happened so I can get it off my chest, connect with you guys, and just tell you guys how much I appreciate you understanding my absence, and then close the book. Kind of for closure for me. It's gonna be really hard to talk about. I already know because I'm already struggling. I'm gonna try not to cry this whole video. It's gonna be really hard. This isn't gonna be like a happy-go-lucky video. This is gonna be real life. But I wanna get it off my chest and then move on. I have a bunch of new makeup I'm not gonna play with today just because I can't really like talk about what happened and also be reviewing makeup. So I'm just gonna do like really basic makeup probably, just to tell you guys what happened essentially. So this is more of a like personal video. I appreciate you guys more than you know. If you've sent me a message and I haven't opened it, it's not personal, or there's no reason other than I just have so much outpour of love and DMs and comments and messages that I simply cannot reply to everybody, but I appreciate you more than you know. Just knowing that you guys care. Wow, I didn't think I was gonna struggle this much. Knowing that you guys care about my family and my well-being, it's a really wild feeling to know that I have so much support. So I'm gonna start doing my makeup. Part of me is like, why am I gonna do my makeup? Because I'm just gonna cry. I'm gonna try not to cry. So if I have like cuts and pauses, that's why. But let's go ahead and get into just why I've been absent and basically a life update. Okay, so everything I use, I'm gonna link down below. I'm gonna start with this Lawless primer. I'm not gonna be talking about the makeup as much today. Honestly, if I can get a full face of makeup on while discussing this, it'll be a miracle. I'm just gonna do basic makeup. A lot of you know that in March, I had to put down my Pomeranian, who was the love of my life. I had her since I was 17. She had seizures and just other issues, but really we couldn't get her seizures controlled. So we ended up putting her to sleep, and it was just excruciating watching her kind of struggle and then having to make the decision. I've never done that as an adult. I need some help. I thought I was gonna be able to speak about this. I'm really sorry if I cry a lot. Basically, I had to put her to sleep. It was like the first loss that I've had as an adult for a dog or a pet. Well, really that was like hell. I mean, it was just hell. I'm gonna be frank with you. My dogs are like my children. I don't have kids. My dogs are like my emotional support animals. I have depression, anxiety. I work from home. They were like my security blanket. I knew when they went that it was gonna be like traumatizing for me, but hold on, we'll get to the story. So we put down Nala, which was horrible. But I felt a sense of relief because she had been struggling. I'm using the Dose of Colors foundation. Again, I'll link everything down below. The makeup reviewer in me is like, oh, I'm using this, and I'm just trying to multitask here. A couple weeks after that, one of my parents had to put their dog to sleep. And she was almost 14 years old. She had some medical issues around the time that Nala was really sick, and then she went downhill pretty fast after Nala. I was helping them cope because I had just gone through it. We just kind of connected, and you know, with the quarantine and everything, just trying to be supportive. So I was worried about them. So after losing Nala and then one of my parents losing their dog, it was just like really close together. Obviously the pandemic was going on, which is a whole nother animal. And I was still posting, just not as much. You guys know I was posting like one video a week, just because behind the scenes I really was struggling mentally, just trying to hang on, honestly. You know, I was just kind of like going through the motions, trying to get through things, adjusting to the, you know, whole stay-at-home order. And just, I think the hardest part for me really is just not seeing my family. And now I have seen my family since then, but we always like, I go outside, we stay apart, we kind of sit out on the patio, and we don't share food or anything like that. It's just a weird feeling to not, I'm sure you guys all know, to not be able to just you know, hug your parents. Fast forward to June, it was June 6th. So Ian has been golfing to really just keep his mind off everything. Ian likes to play basketball, soccer, softball, all of that. So a lot of the times he would have like softball tournaments or just stuff like that. He's very athletic. He enjoys that kind of stuff. I don't. I enjoy sitting on the couch watching Netflix, so we're kind of like the yin and the yang. So he would golf usually every Saturday. So this particular day on June 6th, I was getting ready to film and I had all my makeup and hair done. It was, I don't know, maybe 10 a.m. And I heard kind of like a thump. Like one of them maybe had jumped off the couch, fallen off the couch, but it was definitely a fall. I ran downstairs. I see Curtis, who is my 10-year-old bulldog, kind of like staggering around. To me, I knew something was wrong right then, but I didn't know what happened. I thought, okay, he's older. Was he sleeping and did he just kind of fall off the couch? Did he jump off the couch wrong and hurt his leg? Is he having a stroke? Is he having a seizure? And I'm really triggered about seizures because of what I went through with Nala. Ian wasn't home. I called Ian and I said, something's wrong with Curtis. Something happened, I don't know, but I heard a noise and this is what happened, right? Ian's 2 hours away this day. So because Ian had been playing golf, he was 2 hours away just playing different courses or whatever. Curtis went outside. I'm on the phone with Ian and I'm watching him thinking, is he gonna throw up? Is he going to have diarrhea? Like, what's going on? Is he gonna lose control of his bowels? Like, I didn't know what was going on. So I'm watching him and he pees normally, goes to the bathroom number 2 normally, and I'm like, okay, he's not throwing up, like, what's he doing? He comes back up to the deck and he gets a big drink. And I'm thinking, okay, he's drinking, he's going to the bathroom normally, but he just doesn't look right to me. Something doesn't look right, and you just know. I said, hey, I'm gonna take him to the vet. And Ian's like, I have the 4-door. So we have a 4-door car, and then we have a truck. The 4-door, I can get the bulldogs in because usually they'll put their front paws in and then I lift their back end up, and keep in mind they're 70 or 80 pounds, very low to the ground. Well, because he had the 4-door, I cannot lift him into the truck. Okay, I'm gonna go in with this Beijing Beauty. This is new from MAC and I really like it. And I think it's on sale at Ulta, so I'm gonna use this to bronze. Call my neighbor, who's a godsend. She has dogs and I just love her so much. So I called her and I said, can you help me get him into the truck? Like, maybe you and I can both pick him up. She comes over and she's like, I don't think I can like lift him. Like, I just don't think. So she's like, take my car, because she has like a 4-door car. So she helps me get him into her car and he's still just disoriented, panting heavy. I wanna say that day it was really hot, but he was panting heavy in the house. So this was all like within a matter of like 15 minutes, like us getting him in the car and whatever. She helps me get him into the car. I'm like, I'm going to the vet. I'll keep you updated. Thank you so much for letting me use your car. So I call Ian. I'm like, I'm on the way to the vet. Ian's like, okay, I'm going to start heading home, right? I call the vet when we get out there because of COVID. You know, you can't just walk in, which I think is a whole like other layer to this. When I'm on my way, I say I'm coming in with Curtis. They know me. They come out with a gurney. They pick him up and put like from the back seat, put him on the gurney, and he's laying on the gurney and they take him in. Within like 5 or 10 minutes, I get a call and the vet, now again, this is a vet clinic, so they have like 5 or 6 vets that rotate. So I don't even know who's working what day. But I was familiar with, I would say, most of the vets there because, again, I went there a lot. So I get a call from the vet and she said, I'm doing an exam on him right now. He's responsive, he's blinking, his eyes like are following my commands. So I don't think it was a seizure. And she said, he is panting a little heavy, but it is hot out. And then she said, his heart sounds good and his lungs sound good and normal and healthy. She said his gums are a little bit pale. Before I took him to the vet, I lifted up his jowls and his gums looked pale to me. But again, I'm not a vet. It just, I knew something wasn't right. So she's telling me that he looks okay. And I'm thinking, what? Like, he didn't look okay to me at all. Like, to me, it was an emergency. And she's telling me that he looks normal, that she's not finding anything on the exam, that he looks normal. She said when they got back there, he stood up on the gurney and was walking around in the back room. I'm thinking, actually, I felt embarrassed. I felt like, oh my God, like I just made a whole deal out of this. Like I thought I was panicking. I thought this was an emergency and now he's like walking around. Maybe he just had like a dementia episode. Like in my head, I'm like, I don't know, like my phone was dying. Ian was on his way home. I'm in my neighbor's car. I just felt overwhelmed. I couldn't go in because of COVID. So I went ahead and did my brows off camera just because I couldn't focus. So they basically tell me Curtis is fine and that he's checking out normally. And they think that he just fell off the couch. I'm going in with this Lawless Angel Suede. This is one of their new blushes. You know, he's just an older dog. So I'm like, oh my God, like, is he gonna come out here looking perfect, like smiling, happy, and just maybe he just had like a little episode? That's what I'm thinking. Bring him back out, or I see them starting to bring him back out, the vet tech, and she's got him on a harness and a leash, and she's kind of like trying to get him to come, and he's not walking cooperatively, which is really not like them. Usually like my bulldogs, if you're like, come on, like they, you know, they'll follow you. So he's kind of like, I don't know, just taking like 1 or 2 steps and then kind of like stopping, whatever. And I'm like, that's weird. Like I knew in my gut it was weird. In hindsight, I should have said no, like something's really wrong. But I'm like, God, the vet just made me feel like I just made all that up. So I was like, anyway, she's trying to bring him out. He's not walking cooperatively. And she's kind of like laughing like, oh my gosh, stubborn bulldog. And I'm like, okay. So she basically picks him up and then carries him like 10 feet from the front door to the car and puts him in the back seat. Now, I don't know if he walked through the whole clinic because to get to the rooms, you have to go all the way back. I only saw her, again, because I couldn't be inside. So I'm like, God, that's weird that she carried him. Like, they never need to be carried. She puts him in the car. I call Ian and I said, I'm heading home with Curtis. They told me he's fine. Like, what the hell? He's not fine, but I don't know what to do. Like, in my head, I thought, okay, Ian's gonna get home and we're gonna go to the emergency vet. So there's an emergency vet in Columbus. It's much more expensive, but you go there when you need specialist care. That's where a puppy gets treated for derm, where Nala was treated for neuro. They have specialists and then they have a 24-hour emergency vet. So when Ian gets home, we're just gonna go to the emergency vet, right? And the emergency vet's about 35 minutes across town. My vet is about 10-15 minutes, which is why I didn't immediately go there. I get home, I drive home, and I have this gut feeling. And again, I have anxiety, so it's like, am I just anxious because of what happened with Nala, or is something really wrong? Like, I don't know. I know something's wrong, but how serious is it? I'm thinking he needs fluids, he needs some medication. Get home and my neighbor comes running out and she goes, you're back, like what's going on? And she goes, oh my God, you have Curtis with you. And I was like, yeah. And she goes, why? She goes, what'd they say? Like, she's thinking like they should have kept him, like what's going on? So I'm like, I know, like something's wrong, but they said he looks fine. And she goes, what do you mean? And I'm like, I don't know, they said he looks fine. So at this point, she helps me get him out of the car and he lays down in my front lawn. It's like 90 degrees out, it's super hot. That was not like him to just lay there. Like usually he would just go into the house, you know, get some AC, whatever. So I'm talking to her for like, I want to say like 3 minutes, and she's like, Steph, he doesn't look good. And I'm like, I know, I don't know what to do. And she's like, I can't believe they said he was fine. And I like explained to her what was going on. And I said, Ian's on his way home. You know, I was like, can you help me get him in the house to the air conditioning because it's hot out and he's just like laying here panting. So I get him in the house and he lays down, you know, like he typically would by an air vent. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like my mind was racing and I'm just like calling Ian, like, hurry up. Are you home? Come on, come on. Are you home yet? Are you almost home? Thinking like, let's just go to the emergency vet. So here's where things got really bad. He was in the house, I want to say 5 minutes, just panting and kind of seemed uncomfortable, kind of getting up and down, up and down. He'd lay down and kind of calm for 30 seconds and then he would get up and back and forth. I called my neighbor because things were going downhill and I was just about to have a panic attack, to be 100% frank. I had already really had a panic attack that day. I called her and I said, I need your support. Can you please come over so I can call my dad, call Ian, I need help, right? Because as females, we just can't lift him. And I said, something is really, really bad. She comes over. At this point, Curtis has lost control of his legs. Literally, it was that fast. Basically, he was in a split, to be frank. I called Ian and I showed him FaceTime. Ian's driving home like a madman. And I said, his legs are just going in opposite directions. He cannot get up. He's trying to get up on his front but his back legs are just completely in a split. And Ian's like, oh my God, oh my God. And so he's like rushing home, but Ian's still like 45 minutes out. And I'm like, I can't wait on you. Like, I can't wait. Like something is seriously happening. So I call my dad, who lives about 15 minutes away. That's the only man I knew that could drive me somewhere and help me or pick Curtis up and get him in the car. I call my dad in a panic, and my dad jumps in his car and he's on his way over. So at this point, Ian's speeding home. My dad's on his way. I'm calling him every 2 minutes, like, are you here? Are you here? My neighbor is laying on the floor with Curtis, petting him, making sure he doesn't try to get up and down because he literally had no control of his back legs and he kept trying to get up and down. He's breathing really deeply, panting. And basically at this point, I was gonna have my dad pick him up, put him in the back of his SUV, and then speed to the vet, either the emergency vet or the regular vet if we didn't have time. So I'm kind of pacing back and forth. I'm looking at the front door to see if my dad's there. I'm on the phone with Ian and I'm checking on Curtis, who's laying in the hallway kind of towards the back of the house with my neighbor, again, who's petting him. She's singing to him. She is a fucking godsend, I will say. I thanked her profusely. I don't know if I could have got through that day without her. Shit. So I'm pacing back and forth, freaking out. I'm calling my dad every 2 minutes. He's like, Stephanie, I'm on the way. I'm going as fast as I can. And I'm like, are you here? Are you here? Like 60 seconds felt like 10 minutes to me. So as I'm running back and forth, my neighbor, I'm like, is he breathing? Is he breathing? I keep going back and forth. And she said he was taking like deep breaths and then he kind of relaxed. She's like, I'm again, it was all a blur. I mean, it was in like within just such a short time, you know, I'm going back and forth and then I realize he's not like struggling anymore. And I'm like, is he breathing? Is he in a coma? Like, I didn't know what was going on. And so she's now, I'm like, is he breathing? Is he breathing? My dad's like 2 minutes away. She's checking for a pulse. She can't hear one, but again, we're not vets. So I'm trying to find a pulse. She's checking under his armpit. Like she's checking all over. She's like, Steph, I don't know. I don't know. I call Ian and he goes, run to the neighbors, which is my other neighbor. I was just in hysterics. He was outside mowing and he runs in and I'm like, can you check for a pulse? Do you see a pulse? Like, can you hear a pulse? So he's checking. So it's like all these people, everything's going on. Curtis is laying there lifeless. My dad pulls in the driveway. My dad is like, comes into this crazy scene. My dad and the guy immediately pick up Curtis and put him in the car, in my dad's car. And my dad drives me to the vet. At this point, I called the vet in hysterics and I said, I don't have time to make it to med vet. Like, I don't think my dog's breathing and I need you to come out and tell me that my dog is not breathing because you guys just said he was fine 30 minutes ago. I don't have time to drive 35 minutes to the emergency vet because I think he's fucking dead. That's the truth. Hold on. So my dad is speeding there. I call Ian. I say, don't go to med vet. Meet me at our normal vet. So we pull in to my normal vet. The vet I call, obviously, the vet rushes out. Curtis is in the back seat, completely lifeless. The whole time I'm petting him. He just looked like he was sleeping, but I pretty much knew. This is the vet that just checked him out 30 minutes prior. She feels, you know, she checks and she just nods her head and tells me he's gone. And Ian pulls in literally like right then. He like pulls in, opens the door and I said, he's gone, he's gone. And Ian fucking blows a gasket. So it's like my dad's standing there, the vet's standing outside, I'm standing there, Ian's like, who the fuck checked him? And he's like screaming and the vet was like, I did. And she got really aggressive and then Ian's like, what the fuck? Like, and they're going at it. And I didn't recognize this vet. They treated my dogs for, I want to say 3 years. I don't know, I've never seen this vet. I'm in the middle of the vet and Ian like begging Ian to please stop screaming. I'm crying, I'm like, please stop, please stop. It was just like, so much was going on and I was just like, it was chaos and I was like, holy fuck, like everybody just calm down for 1 second. Like I just couldn't process it. I just told the vet, please go inside. Like I just begged her to please go inside and she did. Ian basically dropped to his knees. I've never seen him like that. And he just dropped to his knees and just bawled his eyes out and just, you know, consoled her pet, loved, talked to Curtis. I don't know why I did my makeup. I knew it was gonna be a bad idea. Anyways, Ian had his moment with Curtis. I had moments with him. I think I was in shock. I think Ian was in shock. I think everybody was just like, holy shit. After that, Ian and I took Curtis to get cremated at the same place that Nala got cremated, but it was different because when Nala passed, we had somebody come to the house and, you know, do the whole thing, and then they took her, and then they kind of did all that. We actually went down this time, and they have like a little family room because of COVID. They weren't going to let us in, and then they let us be in a room with Curtis for like 20 minutes just to kind of say our goodbyes. And that's what happened. I'm being told that it was most likely a severe stroke or a blood clot. The day before, we went on a walk. I have videos of him on Instagram. He was the love of my life. And I feel guilt that I should have demanded that the vet let me in, or keep him, hospitalize him, give him fluids. I shouldn't have left. I mean, from his first symptom of actually, when I heard the thud, to his time of death, it was about 2 hours. It was fast. So much emotion in the trauma. It's just horrible. It's just been horrible. My whole family was just in shock. So that's why I have been off social media. Losing one pet is heartbreaking. Losing 2 in 3 months is devastating. We have Curtis and Nala home with us, their ashes and all of their stuff I have packed away because I can't look at it, but it's still sacred to me. I'm devastated. Ooh. So I'm sorry that this video is really depressing. I know it is. I just felt like if you're going through it, if your dog is sick, if you lost a pet, if you lost anyone really, but grief is a bitch, and it's really, really, really painful. I think what it comes down to is I had the amazing life with both of them. I love them so much, and it's just unfortunate that you have to say goodbye, and you can't beat yourself up. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. I did the best care I could for those dogs. And they know that. And I know that. The vet knows it. I will no longer be going to that vet. Spoke to their manager and their head vet. And I think I just heard a bunch of excuses on somebody dropped the ball. Multiple people dropped the ball that day. And they admitted that. The vet manager admitted that the ball was dropped. Whether Curtis could have been saved, probably not, but he could have been treated with, you know, medicine. They could have said, he's literally dying. You need to get in here now, and we're going to help him along. You know, they could have done something. That's hard to deal with too. So just feel pissed, to be honest, pissed off. Angry, sad, guilty. So that's it. So that's why I have not filmed. To be honest, for 3 weeks, I barely even took care of myself. I barely showered, barely ate. I just kind of was existing, trying to get through the day. So I want to get back to my channel. I don't want to be a sob story. I don't always want it to be negative, but it really just has been the worst year of my life. You add a pandemic, and then just the world's in chaos right now. And when Curtis died, it was like right in the middle of the Black Lives Matter thing. I was posting actively on Instagram about that, trying to raise awareness and just educating myself and everything. And that happened, and then I feel like I just died inside. I just couldn't focus on anything but Curtis and just missing him so much and just all the feelings I was feeling. So I'll leave some Black Lives Matter resources linked down below where you can donate and stuff, because I don't want to like glaze over that. That was, it was just everything happening at once. After Curtis passed, I had my family's support, which I needed so badly. A couple days after he passed, my other parent had to put their dog to sleep. I've lost 2 pets, and my mom has lost a pet, and my dad has lost a pet in 3 months. We've lost 4 and they were all older. And I think what it comes down to is my parents divorced when I was 18, and you know, they both remarried, and then obviously I married Ian, and we all kind of got pets, you know, around the same time when they divorced, you know, 18, within a couple years, and they all are just older at the same time. And that's just the way that it went. And so it's just like, it feels like it's never ending. And it's like, I'm waiting for the, you know, light at the end of the tunnel. I'm waiting for something really good to happen to my family in general. So hopefully like brighter days are ahead, but it doesn't seem too good right now. So I went ahead and put on some highlight. I think this is so pretty. This is Hot Damn from Artist Couture. For lipstick, I'm going to go in with this 3CE Peach Play. I'll link it down below just to fill in. And then to finish off, I want to go in with this Fruit Fetish Make It Last Mango Coconut Spray from Milani. So that is the reason that I've been absent. I'm sorry this was like all over the place. It's like, here's my lipstick. This is what happened. Like, I know it's crazy. I shouldn't even have tried to do my makeup, but I wanted to just get ready and feel like me again. I've lost that. I haven't been taking care of myself. I've missed makeup, and I feel like I just needed some time to heal. Every day I'm still crying, you know, I'm crying here and there, but it's getting better. And I know that I had just the best time with them. They were my babies. So right now we're focusing on Pup. He's doing so much better. I showed you guys on Instagram his skin and some supplements that have really been working for him. So just thankful that he's doing better, just trying to love on him a lot because, you know, he's gone from having 3 in his pack to 1, and I feel like maybe he's a little confused. So that is what's going on. If you're not okay during this pandemic, that's fine. You're just gonna take it one day at a time. If something bad has happened to you, if you've experienced loss, whatever, it's okay to really just be struggling, because trust me, I have been there feeling like I couldn't make it through, truly, truly. And I'm here, so you can do it. You will be okay. If you need somebody to talk to, reach out to friends, family, you can DM me. And we can have a conversation in the comments. Again, I just want to say a huge thank you to you guys for, first of all, even giving a shit about me. I mean, like, you don't have to care about my life. You don't have to be compassionate, empathetic, helpful, loving, supportive, and you guys are all of those things. So I'm putting this to rest. That is what's going on. And I'm gonna miss my babies. Can't change what happened, but I'm choosing to take my life back and get back to work, connecting with you guys, doing makeup, doing what I love, and just healing one day at a time. So I'm sorry this was negative, but I just wanted to get it off my chest and then close the book. So I appreciate you guys. So much new makeup coming. I'm sitting here looking at all of it. I just couldn't focus right now, but it felt good just to put on makeup and feel like me again. So tons of trying new makeup videos coming. I have a Sephora haul coming because I bought a bunch of stuff, and then obviously I just haven't even touched it. And favorites, I have so many favorites to tell you guys about. So again, I love you. Thank you if you watched this video. I'm sorry if it brought you down, but we're just gonna move on and get back to playing with makeup and, you know, what this channel is all about. So I appreciate you guys. I love you. Thank you again. I'll see you in the next video. Did you get your hair done? Tell me.
So that's a lie for him to say that. The other thing is, the Obama administration approached Iran as only with the nuclear issue. They completely, when they were negotiating, left the terrorism, ballistic missile issue out of the picture. The Trump administration is doing the opposite.
wants to go on a walk, but it's so hot. Huh. We've only been out here for about 10 minutes, and I don't think we're going to make it any longer. But just hanging out with my man.